After 15 years of Monster Hunter, it is time to decide which flagship monster is the best. And these are the only two people qualified for the job. Welcome back to Ultimate Turf Wars.
Hey, last week you guys voted for who won, so who won?
Drum roll!
I'll just put in an actual drum roll.
But no. Uh-oh. Drum roll! Malfestio, 79% to 21%.
I'd like to thank my opponents for being so shit.
51% to 49%. Right? Like 80 votes in this.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We'll move on to the next one.
You can't lose! I'd like to thank my son, Dodogama. Daddy!
59% to 41%. It is Anjanath. Which, while I disagree, I don't mind, so that's fine. So, today, in honor of the 15th anniversary...
Yeah, that happened. What day was it? That's already happened, right? Like, day-wise?
I don't know. I don't think does it happen?
I think they just said it was March. I don't remember them saying a specific day.
What day is it? What we've done, we've taken every single flagship, put them in a pot, mixed them around, stirred them up. They got very angry at each other, but
they weren't happy. Well, they were angry at us too. We put them in the fucking pot.
And we have randomly selected 3 each to represent in random matchups that we don't even know yet. So I'm excited.
It's entirely possible this will be a 4-minute video.
Yes, that is true. All right, are you ready? Are you ready, hombre? I'm out for blood this time, sunshine. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, I can immediately see how much you cheated. There's fucking shading on that, Josh.
There's no shading. You're imagining the shading.
No, I'm not. There's no shading there at all.
You look like a scared blue worm creature.
He also looks quite old. I had trouble giving him the red without making it look wrinkly.
I mean, I am excited, because if I was representing Bloodbath, it would just be a slaughter, but you don't actually know anything about him, really, so you might fluff this up, but I'm excited.
No, I know fucking nothing about him, like...
Alright, well, enjoy this minute. Go!
I have nothing to say! It's a Diablos who's stronger than a regular Diablos because he was beaten up and then got stronger, went on some sort of Rocky-style training montage, and really beat up, become the Eye of the Tiger, and, like... found some things and killed them, and the blood dried blue because I guess they were mostly insects. And then when he gets really angry, when he gets more dead, he gets more dangerous, which actually means that no matter what he's against, pretty much, they're gonna have a really hard time when they start getting tired and he starts getting angrier. And he's like, he erupts steam blood when he's really angry, and that would like fuck things up, and that would definitely screw up the thunder bugs that Zinogre uses to try and be lightning-ear. How long do I have?
5 seconds!
And he's really, really awesome.
I hate this! I hate that Bloodbath is so strong, yet you have nothing, and oh my god.
I mean, I knew just by knowing them that Bloodbath would win this. However, I don't know why. That's the thing, is I know that he would. I just don't know why.
Let's not go crazy. He doesn't guaranteed win this.
I mean, he does.
As we're about to find out.
You know he does.
Okay, here we go. So, Zinogre. He's a wolf and he howls. Woo! I don't even like Zinogre that much. But, right, Bloodbath is still an animal of flesh and blood. Okay, no matter how angry and covered in blood he is, right? And he's not hammered the entire way. His belly is still soft, which means it would conduct electricity like other things. And you know what happens to a Bloodbath that gets shocked by lightning?
No.
Storm, fill them in.
The same thing happens to everything else.
So in theory, right, just because he's the strongest deviant ever, fucking hell, he would still get electrocuted internally and his organs would fry and then he would die. So this essentially comes down to if Zinogre could electrocute him before being touched by anything. That's really all I got. This is so hard.
Is it over then?
Yeah, no, I forfeit the rest of my time.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the time I have left for Zinogre to fucking escape.
Alright, Zinogre gets a 10-second head start to run the opposite direction, and Bloodbath Diablos has charged!
Look, in every category, Bloodbath Diablos is stronger, but...
But on the off chance!
On the off chance he takes a direct hit of Zinogre's strongest
Wait, hold up.
will die.
This is already over, and you know why? Because you know what Zinogre has to do to get to his lightning attacks? He has to sit still and charge for like 30 seconds straight. He has to just run until he dies.
Like, a single charge would just get, like, both horns would very fucking stump deep into the side of the charging Zinogre.
I feel so bad. It's like roadkill.
The only monster that is a flagship that is a fair fight for Bloodbath is Nergigante. So I don't know what you want from me here.
I don't. I'm happy with this.
And I will admit though, you did accidentally happen upon a really good point in your rambling that I do want to give you credit for because I've already lost. His steam explosion would just instantly kill the entire swarm of thunderbugs, which would be a very fucking deadly sight. Granted, he just summons more from very far around. So, like, he always replenishes.
His summoning more, isn't that what he does when he stands still and charges? Like, isn't that what he's technically doing?
Yeah. Like, the howl and the static is, like, drawing them in from all around. Yeah. So, you know, he would replenish them, but it would instantly drop everything that's already covering him. So,
So, essentially, what you're saying is, if Zinogre could get to the point where Bloodbath was steam explosion-y, he would essentially just die.
Well, then it would become a physical match. And,
against the Bloodbath Diablos.
I guess, like, maybe a full-on flippy tail slam might irritate him.
Might impale Zinogre's tail with the horns.
This is such a fucking mismatch!
I get the feeling that this is not going to be the only one either.
No. Look, guys, a lot of you love Zinogre, and I'm banking on that to power him through.
Wow. In this fight, to decide who would win in a fight, you know, I really like Dodo, but I think we can both agree that Dodo would not beat Bloodbath Diablos.
I mean, I don't know.
Unless, like, the power of, like, the gods respecting Dodo and loving him just shone down from above and like, smotes Bloodbath Diablos to death.
I've got it. He spits up the magma, it makes a pool on the floor, Diablos charges, slips in the magma, and breaks
impales himself with his own horns somehow.
Alright, I do want to point out,
Dodo beats Bloodbath.
I would at least like to say that Thunderlord Zinogre could give him a go, which I realize is not who he is.
That would definitely help a bit, that's fair.
Alright, moving on! Go! What the fuck? How did you get 2 out of 3 strongest fucking options on this list?
I know!
I demand a redo! There's no way you random Nergy and Bloodbath, you whore!
I didn't want to root it, but we were drawing the numbers and I'm sitting there and fucking muting and giggling to myself. And then you were just like, man, it's really unfair if someone gets Nergigante at some point. And I'm just like, yeah, it is.
Well, fortunately, I think this is one of the few things.
What's with the mouth? That doesn't seem, it looks like he's got like a little ball sack for a chin.
It's supposed to be a spiky thing. I don't like how the mouth turned out to look just like a tunnel going straight forward. Like, it looks like someone just stuck a tube to the bottom of Astalos' head.
Just a nice green tube.
Yeah, it's just a nice little green tube.
Like, I could totally see like a subway car just coming through there.
Oh, you look so surprised to be here. Like, oh, me? Oh, God. Okay, I'm ready. All right. I think Astalos actually has a chance here. Okay, I think worst case scenario for him, it's an endless stalemate, simply because he is one of the most agile, fastest flyer in the game, or at least one of them. And air-wise, Nergy could never catch him in a million fucking years. So if Astalos wants, he can just whoop, 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 forever and ever and ever and just leave. So we, at worst, he's not dying. He's just not doing much. But Nergy's most prominent weakness, as we all know, is lightning. And Astalos, I don't have to tell you, he's fucking covered in it. And if there's one monster that exists that has more of a fighting spirit than Nergy, it's Astalos, because he's a fucking psychopath. Dude gets distracted from killing things by killing things, right? And he's gonna go just absolutely mental on Nergigante. Like, absolutely mental. And he's gonna cover him in electricity, and Nergigante is going to be shocked in both senses of the word and amount of time.
See, the thing is, like, whenever you say these things, like, all these things, like, I do a lot of talking things up, because I don't know that much about them, but I know that you know a lot about them, so when you say stuff, I don't know if you're just fucking talking them up and bullshitting, or if you're actually, like, talking about the way they're actually.
No, if there's one thing you can rely on from me, is all my arguments will always come from actual how they are.
Yeah.
Go!
So Nergigante is like covered in spikes and shit, and that would hurt if you touch him. And yeah, Astalos has lightning and he can fly, but Nergi literally can like shoot the spikes out, and that means that he doesn't even need to have to like physically hit him. Like the dive bomb, if it gets to the dive bomb, if the dive bomb can just happen through time. We've seen it just happen through time. If he dive bombs and Astalos is in the air, he's still gonna take the brunt force of a fucking dive bomb, and that's a lot of black spikes hitting the monster that probably does. Actually, you know what? I bet you, because he is like an insect type of monster, his wings are probably relatively thin, relatively weak, and spikes would fuck that up, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they? And Nergigante just, gets tougher as you hit him, because you hit him and he gets the blacker spikes, and then they grow back. He's a regeneration monster capable of killing and eating fucking anything, and I bet you that insect looks like a nice tasty little snack. He wants to eat him. He wants to just look at him angrily. And if Astalos really is that aggressive, he probably won't be smart enough to realize that he needs to use the lightning attacks. So he probably is going to go for his more physical attacks, and that will just get him fucked up so quickly. Like,
time's up! You make some points, you do. But there's a few holes in your answer. So his spikes firing is completely random and just a consequence of him thrashing around, so he can't really aim them or choose to do it, right? And something as agile and as on it as Astalos would have very little trouble not getting shredded by spikes, especially as we've only ever seen them get fired horizontally and not really in the air outside of the dive bomb. But even then, they don't get that much range on them because they're mostly compressed into the ground. And we've seen how high he goes for the dive bomb. Astalos isn't going to be just sat on the fucking floor looking at him with his thumb in his mouth, right? He's going to be flying. He's always
thumb in his
flying. Thumb in his tunnel. Don't put a thumb in the tunnel, please. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. No. Stop, please. Don't do
no
it.
thumb. You can do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah!
Ah, come on! What I would say is in the world where he just stays in the air and just bombards Nergy with lightning until either Nergy drops or he, like, collapses from exhaustion, is deciding which one of those things will happen first.
Okay, well, then I have to ask, how does Nergi versus Kieran go? So I imagine you've done stuff with that, and you've thought about that, I imagine.
I have thought about that, and I reasoned that it would be an endless stalemate. Because Nergy couldn't lay a finger on Kieran if it didn't want him to, because it's too blindingly fast. But I don't think Kieran could put enough juice into him to fully put him down before regen. He'd have to get what I reasoned. He'd have to get a lucky shot that fried something beyond repairable, like a brain
And I
hit.
think we can both agree that Kieran's lightning is probably stronger than Astalos.
It's the second strongest lightning in the game, yes. But Astalos is, as I said, a psychopath, and he would go in on Nergy. And
That's such a mistake, though!
yeah, it is, definitely. But I think that he has the capability of damaging Nergy physically. Like, I think his claws could get through, especially as they're wreathed in lightning, and that probably helps, because it makes them very warm.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think there could be a situation where Nergy walks away, essentially half dead, having had a Astalos press itself against him, going psychopath, clawing away at him, gouging him out, blood and cuts everywhere, lightning shocking, and Nergy just like, holy fuck, stop! And, you know, he kills him in that stop, but he's standing there like, and it's whether the regen's enough to recover him from that state or not. Yeah, but the thing is, right, and look, I am all for Nergy. I reasoned Nergy would win a complete every flagship free-for-all, so I realize the position I'm in here. But, as many people did point out, we have only technically got evidence of his regen specifically affecting spikes. It's a stretch to say it affects his entire body.
But that's like his main thing,
his calves is like a regrowth scale or something along those lines. But whether that regrowth plate is just what powers the spike regrowth, or if it applies to him himself, that's the question. I think in the world where then is a full Nergy thing, then yeah, he wins. But in the world where it's just spikes, I think Astalos could win, as could then Kirin in that situation. I think it's reasonable to assume that Nergy does not touch Astalos until Astalos is tired. So it's really just if he can do enough damage to Nergy before that happens. I think he could lose to an Astalos, is what I should highlight it as.
I think that's fair.
It's a glass cannon versus a tank cannon.
Yeah, and Bloodbath could lose to Dodo Gamma if he slipped on his magma.
What I will say before we go on to the third round here, you've already had and used the only 2 monsters that I will accept could be what I got for my third one. So I'm very much looking forward to this.
We'll see, because I think I've got something pretty special under my belt.
If you've also got Kushala and 3 for 3'd on the strongest 3, I'm walking away. Go!
Oh my god!
I told you there'd be a style change!
What? How? Is he, like, eating a bullet?
No, it's his tongue.
It doesn't connect to anything.
It goes into the shadows.
It goes into the shadows.
It goes into the shadows.
The eye just looks like it's in the wrong place.
It's very surprised.
It looks, okay, to me, it looks like the Rathalos beak, like an actual Rathalos beak, looks like it's coming in on the side of Brachydios' mouth. Or like a gloved hand coming in to like grab his face and pet him, like give him little scratches on his face.
Who's a cute little boy?
and he's making the face like, oh, it's me! It's me!
I mean, I think it's quite a literal slam dunk, but we'll see what you've got. We'll see what you've got. Begin!
So Rathalos is like fiery and flying. He's flying, which means that he could just fly a lot, and then Brachydios couldn't hit him. Which means in the worst case scenario, Rathalos can fly in circles and it'll be an infinite fight. Rathalos can also fly away, which, you know, he can use to not fight Brachydios at all, and the fight in a stalemate that way, even though it's sort of like a disqualification, I guess. Depends how the arena works. We haven't really discussed that. But he also has fire, and fire is good at heating up slime, which means that he can shoot fire. If he shot a fireball at Brachydios, it would probably blow up all of the slime that is on him at once, which would mean that we would have to take time to regenerate the slime, but that doesn't really help because he can't really break through the shell with anything at all. But, you know, he doesn't have to worry about the slime at all, so it's okay. That's, he'll fly away. That's it. There you go.
He'll fly away, that's it. Okay. So, Brachydios' slime on his shell can not be exploded until he licks it with his saliva, because that's the primer. His shell has a property that stops the slime from being explosive, so no, a fireball wouldn't activate it at all. Either way, as you say, there's literally nothing Rathalos could do. Brachydios could stand still, right? And Rathalos could have free reign to try and damage him. And outside of him opening his mouth wide and letting him kind of like fire a fireball internally, I guess, or maybe like shoving his wing claw in there.
He does like to roar.
He does like to roar. He cannot pierce through the obsidian shell physically. He is essentially immune to fire, at least Rathalos' standard of fire. He walks around in magma fine, tanks Gnactor beams, and then one punches the motherfucker. And essentially, this fight lasts as long as it takes Brachydios to touch Rathalos once, which is going to be easy for him, even with the flying thing, because, yeah, well, obviously we'll say running away is a disqualification. I feel like that makes sense. But you've seen how Brachydios jumps, and he is a practiced fighter, right? He knows his shit. He's a boxer. He's got that fighting mind. And I think at some point Rathalos going to come just close enough to the ground that his huge leapy slam thing's going to clip him out the air. So there, I'm done.
You think he's going to jump and catch Rathalos with a hit mid-jump?
Well, you've seen how high Rathalos flies while we fighting him. He's not exactly powering up into the sky there, is he?
No, but I imagine it'd be proportional to what he's fighting because we're not the size of a Brachydios by any means.
Yeah, but outside of Elder Dragons, they're still pretty animalistic in how they intelligent-wise. He's not going to be like, that's a Brachydios, better be 50 feet higher. He's going to engage how he engages everything, and that's going to get him punched, and then he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be smart enough to not get hit once, and that one hit's enough to kill him. I don't have an argument for that. I'm not going to try and argue something that's just wrong. So, so he's going to fly in, and he's going to go for normal attacks, and he's going to get fucking punched in the face and die.
He just does like the claw dive, scratches gently his shell, and comes away covered in slime, and then dies.
What if I pose to you this situation, and let me finish this, because this is going to be a doozy. What if this Brachydios and this Rathalos actually know each other a bit, because the Brachydios killed the Rathalos' father. The Rathian saw this from a distance, and as she was growing up her young child, Rathalos, she told him the stories of this crazy Brachydios one-punching things. It looked as if his shell was impenetrable. His father tried everything before getting punched in the face. He has no weak points, so this Rathalos is now aware of Brachydios and scared of him. So what do you do to something that has a full outside covered and an unpenetrable shell? You wait for him to roar, and you shoot a fireball down it. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm saying there might, in some reality, be this Rathalos and this Brachydios.
See, I'm not even sure one Rathalos fireball would insta-kill
no, but I mean, a fireball going in your throat would probably kill most things, to be fair. I think Brachydios could kill himself.
That's not the argument here!
I think that's where we've gotten, because that's all I've got.
Oh, man. I feel like I can guess the vote here, but vote away, guys. We won't always do randoms, but it felt right for flagships, because, well, I say it felt right because otherwise someone would choose Nergigante, Bloodbath, and Kashala, but that essentially happened anyway, so I don't know how I feel about that. Question, though, do you think Brachydios could take Nergi or Bloodbath?
I think yes to Bloodbath and Nergi. I'm unsure about it.
I cannot say enough how much I want a Brachy and Iceborne just to see Turf Wars. I think they would be hilarious.
Regardless of Turf Wars, I think Brachy would be done so well in Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, he would, leaping about the place, and the slime would look amazing.
Could definitely be upgraded, and like I can imagine like properly like dripping down the floor so it actually moves with the terrain and shit. I think it'd be great.
Well, there you go, guys. That's your fights for today.
Bloodbath and Zinogre, Nergi and Astalos, and Rathalos and Brachydios. All perfectly fair fights. None of them have a clear victor by any means.
I'll do. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe for more, and we'll fight you next time.
Good fights.
Oh my god. Goodbye.
You've actually ruined the best part of these. And it upsets me. Fucking drew it on an art tablet.
Look, man, so many people were mad at my drawings, alright? And they gave you votes, not because of our arguments, but because of the drawings.
You know what's gonna happen now, right?
Shit.
There's gonna be a massive rebellion against you in the comments, and nobody's gonna vote for you because you cheated in the drawing.
Not cheating! There's no cheating! The drawing doesn't reflect the battle! It's not a battle of paint drawings! It's irrelevant to the whole concept!